We should be entering the new world. All the preparations have been made, it has all been written about, and everybody wants it. It is so easy to imagine. A world where everybody loves each other, and all motion is towards harmony, and there is no more war, or hate or fear, and everybody is together all the time. It is very easy to imagine. Yet here we sit in a gray and tumbling world out of place, and bursting with song. What happened? We all saw it on LSD. A new consciousness was definitely born. Are we just experiencing the long dry waiting period? Why haven't things changed very much? Nixon is still a stale turd atop the most ridiculous decaying government that ever pretended to lead anything more than a procession of baboons to the slaughter since man first realized he needed order to survive. The Vietnam War goes on and on and on. Hair gets longer, music gets louder, dope gets stronger, people get sillier, life still goes on and on and on. Perhaps we didn't want enough. Perhaps we have settled for too little. Perhaps what we really wanted had nothing to do with everything we thought we wanted. Perhaps the new world hasn't really even begun yet, and it hasn't. We're still mired in the death and decay of the old one. We're still looking to the new one for something we didn't get out of the old one. We're trying to make a new deal for old goods. We're not ready to enter the kingdom of heaven. But why do I even bother to tell you all this at all? No one ever listens to me. You're all too full of dope and pride and ideas, and yourselves to know what's even good for you anymore. You will read this piece and go away completely unchanged. Probably even a little more smug than you already are. I really hate you bastards, cause you're killing me. You're stinking up the whole world with your filthy hair and dirty clothes and empty slogans, and phony smiles and false achievements, and long lost glory. It's over, man. You didn't make it. Why don't you kill yourself? It used to be graduate from high school, go to college. Now it's graduate from high school, go to heaven. Nothing is sacred anymore, everything is cheap, including sex, love, religion, and honest accomplishment. We have lost respect, we have no values. All things are equally worthless. I don't know what to do about this mess we're in, there are no answers. Most people think everything's just fine. The few who know our deepest needs are still unfulfilled are regarded with great suspicion and contempt for not allowing people to do their own thing. I don't want you to do your own thing. I want you to do my thing. Wake up. It's incredible. A whole generation of people who grew up with absolutely nothing to do. There is nowhere to go and nothing to do. Education is a farce. Marriage and good jobs and a secure future fill no real need. It is all over before we have even begun. The world is going to fill up with transients. And then what? A whole generation of people who grew up in a world they can't live in. It's amazing. So, what do? They try to die in it. And what should they do? They should try and make it fit to live in. The injustice and decay that you are going to have to fight if you are to stay alive would stagger your imagination if you were only aware of it. The whole world is against you. It only wants to die in peace, and it will do anything to keep from living, and it will kill you, if you're not already dead. It has seduced you into believing there is a purpose to all this suicide, condemned and dying culture is trying to take you with it, and you're falling for it. We were talked out of a revolution. Even the blacks succumbed. They took the good jobs and college diplomas and laid down their arms and their hearts. You have sold your souls at a mean price. You have been accepted. And so now we have a whole race of dying hippies and dying blacks. The revolution has been safely put out and the world can settle back into dying peacefully again. Even our free press has fallen into the hands of the living dead. You would be surprised if you really knew who's running things. The same old dollar. And nothing else. The same dollar that we set out to stamp out has stamped us out, and we never even realized it. We lost the war in the first battle, and the victors have been kind enough to let us live on reservations with plenty of dope to keep us pacified. There is no hope without organization. The world is dying and we must get together and fight this creeping decay. And it's everywhere, even in you, but it won't do us any good to march on the Capitol. And it won't do us any good to try and stop the war in Vietnam. That's their war. Ours is here at home. We've got to stop fighting each other and fight the common enemy. We've got to get all these little communities that are forming all over the country into one big community. We've got to stop filling up the woods and streets looking for dope and love, and get to know each other and start helping each other, and start keeping each other awake, and stop letting ourselves off so easy, and stop thinking we're right and we don't have to do anything about it, but just love everybody. We do have to do something about it. We've got to fight for our lives. Get together with your friends, pool your resources, make some money, buy a house, take on some responsibilities. Learn to fight for what you believe in. Stop doping yourselves up, stop looking for a utopia. Look around you with clear eyes and make some clear decisions. The enemy is within. We have to start a new life here. We cannot live in this dying structure. It will kill us, it has already killed itself. Our only weapon is inner strength. A small group of people with a great deal of determination can transform the world. Be the new Christians. Fight for your life. Fight for love. Fight for a new world. Fight for room to breathe. The heart of God is a vast darkness that only the brave can know. This is a plea for courage. We must get together and fight this creeping decay. Eben this. Loft is truly my home on earth. For years I have sat in the chair opposite the heater, and stared vacantly into the flames until I lost consciousness. Somehow this activity always appealed to me, and even when I have been in other places I have so longed to be back in that chair. And for years when I lost consciousness I would dream like I never dream anywhere else, and I would awake and find myself cold and numb, and would slowly recall where I had been and what I had done, and these days I sit in that same chair, and go to the same place, but I do not lose consciousness, and it's so real, invigorating. Every morning around sunup I suddenly feel a big hand on my head pulling me upwards, and I know it is time to stop whatever I'm doing, and go sit in my chair. And in fact if I don't I'm soon lost in a sea of color, and all that astral jazz which is a drag for me. And so off I go to my chair, and I go through that vibrating, scintillating, radiant color scene very quickly, and then I see a cross for a while and then that fades, and sometimes at that point I begin to write and put ideas together for my story, and sometimes I just stay there and don't interfere. And sometimes at that point I open my eyes to practice my being in both worlds at once, and tonight a very groovy thing happened. I just stayed there and even got through the part where I feel sick and want to throw up, and all the nausea passed. This is where I usually call a halt. And I was in the bottom of a well, and there they all were staring down at me, all the wise ones throughout the ages, and I was their baby, and they were very still, and only their eyes spoke, and they said, "Keep up the good work, we're right behind you, and we know how tough it is on the bottom of that well, but now that you can't see us from there you'll never be lonely again." And by God, Eben, those were some fine looking cats. And do you know that if I was an artist I could paint the face of Jesus now? Who do you write to when you are trying to get your deepest feelings out? What are these feelings that circle through my being and lead me nowhere? Why is there this part of me that is never fulfilled except when it is? Do I always feel this deep longing for I know not what? Let me think back and remember when it wasn't there. That will be when I was whole. When I wasn't hungry. I have always been hungry. Once though I thought I had it whipped. I was in love with a woman. I wasn't full, but I thought I soon would be. I thought that if I could somehow devour her I would be full. I tried it. I ate her mind, and I ate her eyes, and I ate her cunt. I ate everything I could get my hands on, or my mouth on, or my eyes on, and I even ate her with my mind. I thought of her constantly. I felt that if she could always be with me everywhere I go I could spend my life eating her. She went away and I ate myself. For a while I was full. I got hungry again. I went to see her and started chewing away. This time it didn't take me long. I had become a fast eater. Finally, I just stared at her. There was nothing more to eat, and she was still there, and I was still here, and I was still hungry. I went away and ate my memory of her, but I was still hungry. I'm still hungry. Today Sophia had a baby. Joey did the chart. Looks like a Joan of Arc. I'm playing a new music on the guitar. It is chock full of healing power, and I know that someday all the world will hear it. I am soon to make a record playing the banjo and singing. It will be the beginning of the new sound. The new gospel. I am in perfect health and have a house full of people who know me and love me. I have a Volkswagen bus that I live in, and every night I sleep in a different place. I don't work except for the writing I do, and I eat and sleep wherever and whatever I please, and have no obligations but to continue putting out music. I must be damn near free. I'm not at all happy. If I was, I would stop creating. I am only happy when I'm creating. I long to know the love I have tasted. There is nowhere I can't find it but to look. There are no more flowers along the roadside. There is no more roadside. There's only an infinitely stretching barren road. And I'm in the middle of it, and I'm all I have for flowers. I'm two people, the one who needs love and the one who is love. Soon I hope to be only the one who is love. I wonder if I can do it alone. I guess I'll have to. Still, I have a little bit of hope left that there is one who is to come. I hope it's a woman. I hope that she will come in a body that is outside of myself. I hope she comes while I still have an outside. If she doesn't come soon, it will be too late. I'll have be everybody and everything, and my earthly dream will not come true. I have always wanted to be a human being and believe in trees and the sun. Once she made these things real for me, I wonder if it's too much to hope for that she will do it again. Either way, I will fulfill my purpose. I will give much to a hungry world, whether I ever receive that which I long for or not. You'd think that as much as I am able to give, I would receive, I would be satisfied. I guess there's something wrong with me. The more I give, the more I want her. I don't think she'll come. I think it'll work out some other way, like I'll be illuminated or something spiritual like that. I hope not.